My boyfriend, 24 male, and his friends, 23 male, won't stop mocking fat people. How can I get them to stop?
Good morning. I've been having this problem for a little while now.
I've been with my boyfriend for about 2 years. We were introduced by one of his friends, so I'm very close with his friend group.
For a while I've heard my boyfriend call himself fat-phobic and make jokes calling people eaters and things.
I myself have had bulimia for 3 years and it's really hard because for a while I was using it as motivation when he spoke like that. I know it's fucked up, but recently, to both him and his friends' knowledge, I've gone into an outpatient program to help me recover. It got really bad and scary, so I'm trying to stay positive over possible weight gain, which is very hard. Yesterday things got worse.
We were playing games together online and they were comparing girl sizes and calling people eaters and stuff. I got quiet and they noticed, but I just couldn't get myself to feel better, so I ended up logging off. I know that I'm sensitive and these are my issues to deal with, but is there a way I can tell them to please stop without making a big deal out of it? You,
bulimic, him, obsessed with weight of others, equals you in the hospital or dead.
You can't make them stop. But you can find a better boyfriend.
This won't end well. You don't have to stay with someone who's fundamentally vile to and about you.
Find a boyfriend that isn't an asshole?
Your boyfriend and his friends sound like losers.
I would find a new circle of friends and ditch the BF. If not, maybe communicate how you feel about that type of behavior. He is an unsafe partner for you. For anyone, but for you especially. Is my body rejecting my boyfriend? 20M23F. My boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years now and it's been a great past 4 years, but I feel like my body is rejecting him. We used to have a very good sexual relationship and within the past year and a half it has tremendously changed. We have not been sexual with each other in 9 months and we have had multiple conversations about why. I have tried explaining to him that I feel alone in the relationship sometimes and that I don't feel like a priority to him.
We never go on dates or do anything outside of having friends or family around. If we go out to eat at a restaurant, then there is always either friends or family with us, and when I have mentioned that I want to go out with just us and no one else, it is always, "You know I hate going out to eat." But he is always quick to say yes when asked by family or friends.
I also have mentioned how it upsets me that he doesn't do the little things for me, such as just getting flowers, opening doors for me, or even complimenting me. And to his responses, he thinks flowers are a waste or money, and he always laughs it off when I confront him about letting a door close on me or having me walk in first without him opening the door for me.
And as far as compliments go, I get 1 compliment a day, which is in the morning over text, and it just doesn't feel the same reading it over text than hearing it in person. I have tried explaining to him that I need to feel loved in order to return my love to him, because I cannot open my body up to someone that I feel like barely cares about me and does the bare minimum. So is my body rejecting me anything sexual with him because I am not feeling loved, or am I messed up? I have even went as far as to get my hormones checked to see if it was me that was the problem, and maybe that's why I wasn't always in the mood, but now I'm second guessing. I genuinely don't know what to do, and I just want everything to be like how it used to be when we first got together.
When I felt like he did anything to keep me happy.
Had a typo in the title, I am 22 not 23. Emotional intimacy comes before sexual intimacy. If you don't feel emotionally connected, you're likely not going to have a desire for sexual intimacy. There's nothing wrong with you.
You deserve both connections.
If he isn't willing to work on his emotional connection and intimacy with you at all, it's just a matter of how much of him you want to put up with before you completely disconnect and walk away. Why stay? You're not married. If you don't get it now, it's surely not going to happen later.
I'd say chop this one up as a learning experience and move on. We just gonna ignore the fact you were a 19-year-old preying on a 16-year-old, or? This is what happens when you start to grow apart and relationships come near their end. He already seems to have stopped caring.
You can try talking to him about it and maybe do couples therapy, but in my opinion it seems like it's ending.
So you started dating when you were 19 and he was 16?
Is this appropriate where you're from?
Also, you have resentment towards him. He needs to fix it or the resentment will build. Leave if he doesn't change. IDK, just break up if he's a shitty BF.
What can I, F19, do to be attractive and interesting to my boyfriend?
M21. We have been dating for 2 years now and I already forgiven so many of his mistakes.
At the moment I have a couple problems that make me ask that question above.
First issue is our sex life. I have a very high sex drive and he does not.
The only way I can finish is through oral sex. He expects it from me but gets grumpy when he goes down on me and I feel bad even asking for it.
I'm the only one who initiates sex and it ends when he finishes.
If he does go down on me after he stops before I finish and says that it's pointless.
I find him very attractive. It's very subjective. All my girlfriends say he's a 4/10 max. But I think I discussed him. He compliments me very rarely, but to be fair I have gained a little bit of weight since we started dating, but I don't think it's that much, about 2-3 kilograms. I used to spend hours doing my makeup and hair every day for him, but recently I stopped taking care of myself because I feel like a pig in a lipstick whenever I look in the mirror.
Another thing is his family. I love them and they are all great, but I hate whenever there is a bigger gathering. We always sit so I have him on one side and people I have never met before. He turns his back to me and I just kind of sit awkwardly between two groups. A week ago we were on a kayaking trip with his family, pretty big group, about 20 people, and we had to use 2 vans to get there. He left me alone and went to sit with his family and I had to drive with again people I have never met before.
He often drops our plans to help his dad, but an hour later I see him playing games online.
And another thing is a ring, and I know I only say bad things about him, but I love him and he can be very sweet. One of my friends who is dating his friend for about 3 years got a promise ring from him on their first anniversary.
Another one of my friends that I introduced to his friend got a ring 3 months after they met. And I know it's childish to want a promise ring and all, but it just makes me sad because I have sacrificed so much for him. I gave up college in England. I cook and clean for him, forgave him for kissing another girl, helped him recover from drinking and a bunch of other stuff.
Whenever I mention it he says that it's not the time and that he is committed to me and a ring won't prove anything.
But I want to get married in 3-4 years and have kids in 5-6. So the question is, should I move on?
Can I be happy in marriage where the intimacy is basically non-existent?
What can I do to better myself? He don't like you, girl loudly crying. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think your boyfriend respects you or considers you a priority. Also, have you spoken to him about any of this?
If not, you really should. If things don't change then it's time to leave, but if you've already expressed your feelings and nothing has changed, then yeah, he clearly doesn't respect you. I know it's hard to leave because you love him, but it would be best for you in the end. You don't want to be unhappy forever, and that's what will happen if you stay.
Best of luck to you. Are these posts even true? Are women truly hanging out with men who don't value them and blame the entire male community for their disappointment later on? Or is it just a running gag in this sub to farm karma?
Dump him and go back to college and learn not to be codependent. He doesn't love or respect you and life is too short to waste any more of your time on him.
I am sorry, but does he even like you?
Girl, you deserve so much better.
Never change yourself for someone. You are perfect the way you are, and if he can't see that, it's his loss.
There are people who are willing to give you the world without you having to beg for it, trust me.
Please, please, please leave him.
You are 19. You have every opportunity in the world at your feet.
You have genuine love and amazing sex to find and experience in life.
When I was your age I felt a lot of loyalty to Guy the first was in a relationship with, and honestly in hindsight I wasted 5 years of my life. Go be by yourself, learn what you enjoy, explore different people and give yourself permission to find someone who aligns with you and what's important for you.
This isn't it? It's heartbreaking. And I am sorry, heart.
My 33F husband, 38M, does not want to have kids. What should I do? My husband, 38M, and I, 33F, have been together for 5 years and married for 1. Since the start of our relationship, we have discussed having children in the future.
Recently, when I bring up the topic, he expresses insecurity and leans towards not having kids. I asked him if he would be fine with not having children, and he said he would. He also argues that he would be fine with having kids, but not now because he feels unprepared and fears that a child will drastically change his life. He blames work stress and says he does not have time for himself. In reality, I give him plenty of space to do what he enjoys most, playing video games with his virtual friends daily after work. This is only possible because I am also busy finishing my PhD. I am near the end of this process and was planning to conceive once I had my manuscript ready, but now I don't think this will happen. I am seriously considering leaving him to find someone who wants to start a family.
As an older woman, I don't have the luxury of waiting like he does, and he knows these fears. Additionally, I already have several conditions that may make it difficult for me to conceive.
I love him, but in the past few months, I have started to resent him. I feel betrayed. I think he is selfish, and I do not want to discuss the topic with him any further.
I feel like I am begging him, and I don't want him to feel forced to have kids if he doesn't want to.
I have felt so sad and have been thinking about leaving him once I finish my PhD at the end of this year.
I don't know what to do.
Too long did not read. My husband is unsure about having kids. He feels unprepared at the moment.
I am not getting any younger and feel like I cannot wait any longer. At almost 40, if he hasn't figured shit out enough to know he isn't going to, and you are running out of time.
If it's a must-have for you, then you need to leave.
It sounds like you two are incompatible.
He doesn't want kids. You can't force him to have kids.
As an older woman?
You are 33. Tell him to, respectfully, put up or pull off.
He's right though, the kid will drastically change his life and he won't have any time for himself. Not really. If that's not what he wants, it's worth you considering if it's what you want with him.
Divorce him and find someone else who will want to have kids with you.
Men don't have a biological clock. If he changes his mind and decides to have kids in his 50s, he will, but the same doesn't go for you. So stop wasting your time.
Was in the same boat as you. In my early 30s I got married and a few years later my ex-husband had changed his mind about having children. I accepted it as I loved him, and it turns out that our home would have been a bad one to bring a child into. The ex was a selfish and lazy drunk. I should have left then and not wasted another 15 years. I often think what my life would be like if I had left to be with someone who wanted a family and would be a good father. My story is different though, since I should have left regardless of wanting children or not.